beautiful Sichuan province with rich natural resources and a gorgeous landscape. One of its nicknames is Tianfu, or Country of Heaven. It gave the world some of the finest silk embroideries, that spicy Sichuanese cuisine, and many scholars and historical figures.
My thoughts went to the southwestern province on September 5th, when a 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit a rural area. Chinese state-run media reported a death toll of 93. In 2008, a powerful 8.2 magnitude earthquake hit Wenchuan, about 200 miles from the recent quake. Aftershocks were felt as far away as Beijing, Vietnam, and Thailand. At least 69,000 lives were lost, 400,000 injured, 5 million left homeless. This according to Communist Party reports. Particularly tragic with a large number of children lost in collapsed school buildings. When Mr. Zuoren visited the ruins of this middle school, his life was changed forever. We hear so many negative things from China's Communist Party. Human rights abuses, military expansion, propaganda infiltrating the world. Stories that capture the brilliance and the virtues of Chinese culture are easily covered up. This story about Zuoren is worth hearing. In many ways, Mr. Tan is a Renaissance man. Multiple interests, never idle, extremely effective at whatever he sets his mind to. Although trained as a medical doctor, he worked as chief editor of a literary magazine that he co-founded. He also helped the environment in a rapidly industrializing China. He protected groundwater from factory pollution. He removed toxins from communities. His independent studies led to improvements in at least one nearby panda refuge. Like many other Chengdu people before him, Tan's intellect, gentle demeanor, and kind outlook epitomize that classic Confucian scholar, broad-minded and kind, always trying to make the world better than how he found it. When the earthquake hit, it was a given that Tan would try to help. He and 3 friends visited this middle school near the epicenter 3 days after the quake. Half of the 2,000 students and teachers there were buried alive. Very few were rescued. But beyond this tragedy, Tan noticed that something about the rubble didn't seem right. Beautiful new schools were supposed to be built to earthquake-resistant standards, but they had crumbled, literally. Walls, ceilings, corridors, none of these were recognizable because the concrete had entirely crumbled into pebble-sized pieces.
We can't blame anyone for the earthquake.
Multiple senior officials promised to investigate, but it never happened. Grieving parents begged for a full account, but were met with silence or worse. Losing hope, Tan proposed that people conduct an investigation themselves. He urged citizens to collect and publish information online for further study.
I'd expect after...
But several months later, he was arrested. The official reason? Inappropriate comments about the Tiananmen Square massacre 19 years earlier. It was clearly an attempt to steer conversation away from school construction. In a 10-minute hearing, Tan wasn't allowed to defend himself, and at the end, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. There was a global rescue effort at the time, but he still had to serve the full term, and he was only able to see visitors on several occasions. In this recorded visit with his lawyer, we can see that Tan aged quickly, but he was as outspoken as ever. But when he received greetings from family and friends, they left him in tears.
What I want to say to these friends is, I'm very grateful. Please take care of yourselves. and stay safe. To my family, I only have 3 words. I am sorry.
他们为你自豪，所有的朋友。
Tan's lawyer responded in this interview, "They are proud of you. All of your friends are proud of you. I also admire you. Stay well. Stay
好
well."
好坐牢，好好坐牢。
Mr. Tan's family also demonstrated incredible courage throughout the ordeal.
He said, "I've been trying to think of a way to leave you out of the danger." He meant a divorce. I said if he's in prison, then I'll just wait for him to be released.
When police took Tan, his teenage daughter was home alone with him.
Our daughter called and said, "Mom, a lot of policemen are here to take my dad." Over 10 policemen. She said her dad made a very cool gesture to her and walked out. She said goodbye, goodbye to father with a smile.
She put on a smile to lessen her father's burden. A different story lay under the exterior. Tan survived the 5 long and lonely years. One of the first things he did after being released was visit the earthquake site and once again demand justice. I don't know exactly where Tan got the strength to risk everything for doing what was right. But what I see in him are qualities that I've seen so many times in ancient Chinese stories. When a senior official named Cuiju usurped the throne through murder, he ordered the historians to hide the fact in the records. But the historian wrote, "Cuiju murdered the king." The historian was executed and replaced with the man next in line, his brother. The younger brother wrote down the same sentence, and so too was executed. A third historian brother suffered the same fate. When the fourth brother copied the sentence, the emperor was finally moved and spared his life, which is how this story was passed on. And when Chinese tell this story, they also pass on the meaning of integrity, sacrifice, and honor. I started studying Chinese in college, and I've taught it to students for over 15 years. I have dozens, if not hundreds, of Chinese people in my contact list. China is a major part of my life, but like I said at the outset, the wisdom and the splendor of China's 36 dynasties are often overshadowed by the problems of our crazy modern world. Stories like Mr. Tan Zuoren's, therefore, are all the more worth telling. Thanks for watching. I'm Liam O'Neill, and we'll see you next time.